Another day getting my Land Cruiser roadworthy. Yesterday the Land Cruiser took the maiden voyage home from the brake shop after sitting in a backyard for 14 years, and I had to pull over thrice because it kept overheating. Thank you to everyone who was quick with it in the comments and suggested that I needed to replace the thermostat because I really thought there was air in the system, but as you'll see in a bit, it needed a thermostat. I had to remove that little skid plate above the steering rack in order to get to the drain plug on the radiator. The first thing I'm doing is draining out all the old coolant, and then I'll be flushing the whole system with water and a couple of additives and then replacing it with fresh coolant. Because this thing is sat for so long, doing a coolant flush is definitely essential. Toyota engineers must have foresaw this, and they actually put the thermostat housing literally front and center in the engine bay. I wish every part could be right where this part was. I'm having to be very careful taking all these hoses off because this thing is older than your mother, so everything is dry and old. And look at that. It's no wonder this thing was overheating so quickly. It's got stage 4 diabetes. Here's the old versus the new thermostat, and all these little lines are completely clogged up. That old gasket is melted on in there, and it's just full of shit. After a bit of good old-fashioned elbow grease, I was able to get the thing cleaned out as much as it will be. And now that we're back to low cholesterol, I can focus on flushing out the radiator. Before I even capped it again, I just poured a gallon of distilled water through there. And then I'm also removing the overflow box to make sure that no stone is turned unleft. Now I used this bucket to drain the oil, so that's not oil floating in my coolant. And the good news is that I didn't have coolant in my oil, and I don't have oil in my coolant. So I don't think we have a head gasket problem here. After all that, I'm putting on some liquid gasket, and I got caught red-handed. This is why you should be wearing gloves, because me and this Land Cruiser are starting to look like O.J. Simpson. Sorry, I couldn't hear you over that egregious exhaust. After I know I can get this Land Cruiser driving on the road without fear of blowing up, I'm going right for those catalytic converters. It's awful. This was after the flush that I did with distilled water and some placebo solution. So I'm putting the cap back on and then topping her off with Asian Fusion. I also put in another additive that's meant to lubricate the water pump and stuff. Again, probably placebo, but whatever. Last thing to do is scrape off the barnacles from the skid plate and bolt it right back up. And darn, we're out of time. Part 2 of the day coming in shortly. But thank you for watching and follow for more.